Hi, this is a quick strategy alert on what's a seller buy down. Several folks have asked about it. We've done them for years in spreadsheets primarily. It was a strategy we used to teach in our CE class to realtors around the benefit of prepaying mortgage interest as compared to actually taking a price reduction. Now, obviously, the benefit to the realtor is there. Let's look at this situation. You've got a client with a sales price of $729,000. They want to move the property. One way to move the property is to reduce the price. Typically, if a property is not selling, realtors will tell you it's always price because eventually at $500,000, $400,000, $300,000, someone will buy that property. So if I drop it to $700,000, I'm going to get more interest because I can see right away my down payment drops from $145,800 to $140,000. The amount that I'm borrowing drops from $583 to $560, and we're basing this on a 20% down payment. Now, nothing happens to the interest rate because it's still 5.375 if that's the interest rate today on this property. So there's no change there. But there's a monthly payment change, right? My $35.47 payment that's based on this loan amount of $583.2 drops to $34.17 based on this loan amount of $560. So the impact to the price reduction is going to reduce the amount borrowed, which reduces the down payment and the payment. Now that's going to save that client $130 a month, and we can see that right here on the flyer, monthly payment savings $130. The savings over the loan term is $46,769. And this is using our software to go through and actually look at the net tax impact, the net interest benefits, the payment benefits. Is taking all that and looking at this over the loan term to say this price reduction of $29,000 is not a savings of $29,000. It's a savings of $46,769 because that's the financial impact over 30 years for that consumer. Now, if I had bought this house for $729 and gotten this 30-year note, I'd be paying on that note for 360 months. But remember, if I do the price reduction, I have an extra $130 a month that's coming from the lower loan amount, and that lower loan amount freeing up $130 a month means I could apply that $130 a month towards my mortgage. And if I did that, my actual 30-year mortgage would pay off in 320 months. So right off the bat, I can already compare the original price to just a price reduction to say this is certainly better. But this is the way that most people would handle trying to sell the property. With a seller buy down, you're comparing side by side the price reduction with the rate reduction and the actual buy down of the rate. Now, one of the things to consider here for Tricia, the realtor, is she just lost a commission of 3 to 6% on $29,000 because her commission is tied to the price. And if the price goes down, so does her commission. Now, if I do a rate reduction, I'm leaving the $729 at $729. That means my down payment stays the same and my amount borrowed stays the same as with the original price. What's different here is the interest rate, because what you're solving for is how much could I buy down that interest rate with $29,000. And in this example, and this one actually came in from a loan officer, they could buy the interest rate down to 4.25% with $29,000 in discount points paid up front. So in that situation, the monthly payment is now $31.50. That means that the monthly savings is $397. Now, I've got to consider here that I had to put a little bit more money down, $145.8 versus $140. But how do I really look at the financial impact over time? To do that, you need to be able to look at the savings over the loan term and base it off of the original scenario. In this case, the $397 a month savings, even with a little bit more money down, that interest, tax benefit, all that calculated together, means that client will save $142,833 over that 30-year period. So almost 3 times the savings of a simple price reduction. Now, we also want to consider and compare that to a debt-free date. And with $397 a month in available cash flow, I could apply that towards this higher loan amount of $583,200, and I could actually pay that loan off now, all things being equal, in 284 months. So not only is there savings here, but I could be debt-free, what looks to be another 36 plus almost 40 months faster with this rate reduction. Now, annual income to qualify is always important. For most people, it's down payment and monthly payment. So the down payment here, a little bit higher, but look, the monthly income or the annual income goes from 121.6 to 117 with a price reduction down to 108 with a rate reduction. Sometimes you'll see that the price reduction will win, and you might want to simply call this a analysis for your client that compares price to rate to help them understand which is a better option for them based on this scenario. So that's how you might consider using a seller buy down. It's a wonderful marketing tool. This is a great 15-minute orientation call in a real estate office. Bring in some bagels if you want to, and sit down and hand these out and say, I'll be happy to do these analysis for your client to see if they're better off with, or for your sellers to see if they're better off reducing the price right now or reducing the rate. So hopefully that helps you a little bit out with the strategic mindset behind a seller buy down.